Hello lads, ladies, gents, ladetts, whoever, whatever, welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at Firefighters Together, a chaotic, co-op focused obstacle course. If I had to describe the game in a quick sentence, I would say it's Human Fall Flat meets Fall Guys. It's a super interesting concept that will probably lead to you wanting to either rip your hair out in the best way possible or beat the crap out of your friends. Because although this game is really bloody hard, once you understand the mechanics, it's a lot of fun figuring out how to beat these levels as quick as possible to save the kitten at the end. Now, to be transparent, I did receive a free code for the full game from the developer, along with additional codes to give to friends to try out, but I just wanted to make sure you guys know. Jumping straight into the game, you will notice that instead of a human firefighter, we get to play as this adorable dog instead, an adorable dog that handles like a drunk toddler. Now, you would think this would be a negative, and although it has the handling of a 10-ton semi going downhill on black ice with no brakes, it adds a lot to the game. It makes every jump, turn, and use of your hose feel like it's either going to save you or end you. It creates an insane amount of anxiety in the best way possible, and it will have you glued to the edge of your seat. Now, it can definitely be frustrating since you will fail more than you would like. But honestly, it's half the fun. Figuring out how to beat these challenges is extremely rewarding, and it makes you feel like you've accomplished something, even though the game isn't actually as hard as you might think. Yes, it is designed to be a little bit of a rage game. It does want you to get a little frustrated. It does want you to get invested, and it honestly makes it a really fun experience. If you do want to try the game for yourself, there is a demo that is available. It only has one level, with it being the city level, but trust me, it's definitely going to be worth your time. It took me a good 40 minutes or so to beat it on my first attempt, and when I eventually came back after having access to the full game, I was able to beat my time quite considerably, and it makes me excited every time I come back to challenge myself to get faster and faster. So much so, I actually came up with a couple of speedrun strats, as you can see here. There's enough variety in the obstacles that you never run into the same thing that much, and when you do, the further you get in, the more challenging it gets, keeping it fresh as you go. I would find myself approaching each new section asking, how the hell am I getting through there? Only to fail a good dozen times at least, and eventually figure it out, then moving on to the next. Beyond the wipeout-like obstacle course, on the way, you'll need to put out fires in order to unlock checkpoints, and trust me, you will need those. The fire themselves aren't really hard to put out. All you have to do is aim. Just aim. You simply aim at the fire and spray water until they're extinguished. However, as you can clearly tell, even aiming can be a bit of a challenge. Now, to be fair, this could be on my end due to the fact I'm using a mouse and keyboard, and I run my mouse at a pretty damn high DPI because I'm a psychopath like that. Though, if it is an intentional choice, which I am likely to believe, I wouldn't mind seeing this change to be a little less chaotic and make this a little more consistent. I don't need aim like Call of Duty, but just make it a little less extreme. In saying that, it has seemingly tightened up a little bit over time, but I think it still has a little ways to go. The full game has 6 levels, and as you progress, they'll start to get more and more vertical, so expect a lot more frustration to seep in when you fail some of those jumps. Add friends into the mix, and all of a sudden you have a night of shit talking and back and forthing that will probably have you either getting closer or wanting to pull one another's hair out. And honestly, that's the joy of Firefighters Together. It can be a fun solo experience, but it's definitely an incredible experience shared with friends. The game itself does what I think a game should do, and that is be fun. The game's overall presentation is what I would best describe as solid. It's not a graphical powerhouse, but it doesn't need to be. It's bright, colourful, and overall pretty nice on the eyes. The game's music is also again pretty solid. Though not what I would consider to be the greatest soundtrack I've ever heard, it does its job. It services the game, and that's all I can ask for. The later levels definitely have better songs, but there is one minor issue, and I think it's just the fact that these songs loop, and since you can spend a bit of time on each level, it might drive you a little bit crazy. However, if you're good at the game, then it's not really a problem, so maybe just get good. There's a decent variety of genres on offer here as well, and it services each level you're on in a way that you would expect. The biggest highlight of the presentation, though, for me is the character model that we play as. As I mentioned, this dog is cute as hell. Sure, the firefighter's jacket does glitch out pretty much constantly, but it's honestly part of the game's charm. We do get some basic customization options, which is nice, but I would like to see these go just a step further. Maybe adding in different designs for the dog, maybe different breeds, things like that. Maybe base it around completing certain challenges within each level, just to give the game a little bit more replayability, because outside of playing with friends, once you've done the 6 levels or beating your your own times, there's not really a ton there just yet. I asked the developer, Atoponus, to whom I apologize for butchering your name, what inspired them to make Firefighters together. To which they replied, "One day I was having a D&D night with my friends on Discord. In the game, there was a fire in the village and there were plenty of people and animals that needed saving. We spent about 2 hours trying to put out the fire, and at the end of the session, the idea for the game came to me," which to me explains why the game has such a co-op focus at the end of the day. In terms of additional content for the game, they also explained that although they're not a big fan of having a ton of DLCs, they were planning on adding 3 major updates, including new maps, customization, and minigames, which is more than you can ask for from a single developer. I did ask if they had any other projects in the work, and they do. A game they described as their dream game, Luthia, sees a guitar master running a shop by day and exploring dungeons at night, eventually attempting to create a legendary guitar known as Lucille. And for those of you who don't know, I myself am a guitarist. I adore playing, I adore the instrument, and I adore music. And Lucille is the guitar of B.B. King, who, in my opinion, and a lot of others, is the greatest blues guitarist of all time. So if you like how this game sounds, definitely keep an eye out for it. At the end of the day, Firefighters Together is a fun co-op time. If you're looking for something new to try or a game to show off your gamer skills, I recommend at least trying the demo. So with that, lads, ladies, gents, ladetts, whoever, whatever, it brings us to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed my video here on Firefighters Together. Definitely keep an eye out for Luthia as well, because I think that game is going to be absolutely incredible. At the end of the day, this game is definitely a little bit buggy. It's not a flawless experience, but it is a solo dev, so do be kind. If you can share it with your friends, that'd be even better, because this game is a lot of fun, and I do highly recommend it. Also, I'm the #1 speedrunner. I don't care what anyone says. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you want to go the extra step, you can hit the subscribe button. If you want to go that extra mile, you can support me on Ko-fi, Patreon, or YouTube memberships like these lovely people here. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.